Welcome to Profiles in Eccentricity, a show about weirdos. With your hosts, John Fahey, Aaron Peter, and Matt Brousseau.
Hello, folks. Welcome to Profiles in Eccentricity. It's a show about weirdos, doggone it. My name is John Boy. I'm your host, John Francis Fahey. This episode is brought to you by Meemaw's Country Kitchen Cheese Titties.
You don't say.
Yeah. I almost got mad with the squirty.
It's exciting.
The homestyle country treat that everyone can enjoy?
Yeah. So hard as hell when they're stale.
Oh,
That's a real program my friend Joe saw today in the supermarket.
product.
Excuse me.
It's not program yet.
This is a real program.
I guess.
I think the podcast for Cheese Titties is coming out soon.
Yeah.
So am I.
Who was Meemaw?
Meemaw, the real story. Joining me as ever is, of course, Michelangelo's David Duchovny, Aaron Joseph Pita.
What's up?
How you doing?
Hanging in there?
Nice.
What about you?
You know, taking it one day at a time, sweet Jesus.
Yeah, one day at a time, you know, taking the good with the bad,
Yeah.
ups and downs.
Rolling with the punches.
Yeah. You know, just really waiting to cork one off.
Oh, just letting it rip.
Just ready to really
Really wading in.
Tee
and
off.
fucking- yeah.
fucking diving in head first.
Yeah.
Oh, you got to do it.
Putting the pedal to the metal.
Mm-hmm.
Dialing it up to 11. Matt?
Same.
Handsome Matt Brousseau.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Very, very well. Gentlemen,
Good.
you know, I don't know how I missed an opportunity for us to be praised. But
Oh, no. Sometimes it's tough.
But I didn't really look
So
at
much.
our Etsy store's reviews.
Oh,
Oh,
And so you can get the shirts there. They are on clearance now. They have been going as low as $10, folks.
Jesus
I mean,
Christ.
you're losing money by not buying it.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, we're certainly losing money by you not buying it.
That's the cost of a Miller Lite at a bad bar in Los Angeles.
Yes, and we will be discontinuing the Ramones design and the Hard Pipe Hitters Union. design.
And the original teak design.
I think we will be. But
No. Oh,
that
we're
one
gonna
kind of
get another
sells.
one.
That one kind of sells. So I might.
Okay, all right.
We'll see.
Hey,
Steve Purdom,
Steve.
don't purt him, Emma.
great guy, love him. He says every review is 5 stars. I'm not lying. That's really true. Fantastic, great,
Nobody said you were
fantastic, great shirt, great print. Nova Oven got a Freak at the Teak shirt and said best shirt in the whole Mammer Framin world. Sign in with Apple user. That's a weird name. They said got many extra
Nice.
bonus stickers and amazing quality shirt. Thank you. Ben Brazil, 5 stars. Bill Wall, 5 stars. He got the Hard Pipers Union. Ben Brazil got the Ramones design. E says can't wait for next installment. I think that's about the show. Got the Ramones shirt. Jared Danowski Harlow said the quality of these shirts are that of the highest gravity lager out there.
Wow.
The Ramones can't even begin to describe it. I'm definitely the hottest gator in the swamp now. Jaglom would agree.
Oh, wow. Thanks, ADH.
Kimberly Broche says the perfect piss yellow shirt for any occasion. Elliot Farmer says this shirt is nice and soft. Try it out. You're going to love it. I Aaron P. it.
Wow.
E says a fucking shirt, a soft shirt.
A shirt, a soft shirt.
Chris McFarland says it is a good shirt.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you, Chris.
Ellen Smolenski says great quality for a shirt put together by 3 ripped children in a trench coat. 10 out of 10.
Wow.
Yeah, that's 6 hands.
Yeah.
Rachel Cole says absolutely perfect. Customer service is top notch. Can affirm. Rachel Cole again comes back about the teak shirt.
Thank you, Rachel.
It says love. It's super soft, looks just like PP, and fits perfectly. Drew Chaplin got the Hard Pipe Hitters Union and says perfect for going medieval on someone's ass.
Yeah.
That is absolutely correct.
Yeah. You have a friend named Spider. You get him that shirt.
Laura, 5 stars. Rob Sire says, this is just what the doctor ordered. Seriously, my doctor told me to get one of these. Chris June says, everything I dreamed and more. And finally, John Alamatiris says, yesterday I was a drug-addled pervert with no future. Then I bought this. Now I'm a drug-addled pervert with no future, but with a great quality T-shirt.
Yeah.
You just never know what lies around the corner.
It's true.
Thank you, guys.
Wonderful
Thank you
reviews
all.
for
That
Clear
is
these shirts
very
out. Profiles in Eccentricity on the Etsy shop. And join us on the Patreon for an extra episode per week. I think after we wrapped up Blake, we went deep on the Tarantino and parenting discussion.
We did, and then the next day,
Joe messaged me about it.
More
It was very nice.
serendipity. Tarantino announced his next motion picture.
That is correct.
Yeah, all about the TV show The Critic, I believe.
Yes, John Lovitz.
It stinks.
It's going to be a wild ride.
Yeah.
Yeah, John Lovitz says the N-word a lot in this motion picture.
Finally.
You're all acting like a bunch of... Is that what you are?
Are we in Inglewood?
You're in my home.
No, that's Trudy. That's my wife.
Oh, dude. John Lovitz and Tarantino movies.
Yeah.
That is going to be on the Patreon.
Oh, yeah. That'll do. That'll do, Pig.
We haven't done impressions on the Patreon for a minute.
We haven't done.
We had a big run.
We did have a big run, and we kind of blew it out of the water.
Big fucking run. Yeah,
we're still working on it.
I've been coming up with some.
Good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be out of town this weekend, so I'll have some time in my travels to come up with some.
Please do.
I'll write them down on paper.
Write them down on index cards. Anything.
Sure.
A fucking shirt. A soft shirt. All right. Well, Matt, you are gonna regale us with something. It looks like about some sort of figure skater.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, they a figure who skate.
Oh.
Did. Yeah, I mean it's about time I started telling a hockey story.
Yeah.
I don't know. We haven't done basketball. Definitely some baseball.
Yes,
we did. We did do basketball.
Yeah, we've done basketball.
Yeah, you did.
I did. Yeah.
That's right.
Pistol Pete Maravich.
That's right. That's a classic.
I saw just really recently. There was a little bit on Reddit, and it was from one of these sports websites.
Oh, weird.
And it said that there was a 5-game stretch where Pistol Pete scored
Too many.
A grip of points, and they were like, if you took the highest scoring game from any player from any team in all of the NCAA this year, and you added them together, they did not add up to that stretch that he had.
Whoa.
Just unbelievable.
Yeah.
He
was quite good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really.
But not the best.
No. He had
But
problems.
a great character.
And a pioneer of the game and the style of the game.
He was a dandy at the Dunkaroos.
Yes, he certainly was. And the horse.
Okay.
Great horse player.
He was probably the best horse player of all time.
Right, him or Larry Bird. Yeah, maybe. Or maybe someone on the Globetrotters, you never know.
Yeah.
Well, Larry Bird had an unfair advantage because I think he was part horse.
Yeah.
What with his
all the time
face?
in Indiana.
I think the best horse player was Mr. Hands.
I think he might have been the most dedicated.
He's definitely played the most by the horse.
I've heard of looking a gift horse in the mouth.
Oh God.
End of statement.
End of thought.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I as a kid, I was known as Little Hockey. No, wait, that's Tim Meadows.
That's right, Little Hockey.
But
There's only 3 things I hate: sexism, racism, and no hockey.
Out of sight.
But I played a lot of hockey as a kid, and read a lot about hockey, and then I stopped forever for a long time. It's a long story, but it gets me out of jury duty, that story, so maybe I'll tell it sometime. But today I'm going to tell you about a guy who even today could still be, even today, considered the greatest goalie of all time. Now, you probably won't find anybody today who will agree with that unless they played back then.
Uh-huh.
The people who played back then who are still alive will still say he is.
Through shattered teeth and wired shut jaws.
And such. Now, so I have to... We're going to be talking about a period of hockey from the 1940s until the 1970s or so.
That's in damn near 30 years.
It is.
That's the third period.
It's actually the second period, John.
Okay.
Because the original period of the NHL was in the 1920s. And I think there was maybe 7 teams. There was 2 teams in Montreal, and then one of them folded. The Maroons, they had the Montreal Forum.
Oh God.
Yeah. Before the Canadians, and but eventually we come to a time of the original 6.
Hey.
And this would be the first great period of professional hockey.
Great.
And even at that time, professional hockey didn't own the Stanley Cup. the Stanley Cup would be given to various winners of other hockey leagues around Canada.
Well, it was Lord Stanley.
Yes, so he got to pick and choose.
Yeah.
It was passed around in underground fuck clubs.
Yeah, and it is all
You want to know what they filled.
but there's stories that the Montreal Canadiens win it one year and they go out drinking with it and they get so drunk someone forgets it on the side of the road because they went out to take a piss and just
Vagrant uses it as a bathroom.
yeah.
And I go, hey, that's Stan Lee's cup.
Excelsior, true believers. This stuff tastes like shit.
But it was a period of hockey, when hockey first started out, you look at the ice today, the ice was originally gray
Oh, God.
because it was just ice on concrete. And then someone had the idea if you paint the concrete white, people can see the puck better.
Oh, yeah.
They didn't have lines.
I thought it was great because they use like gray water.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
It probably didn't help. It was all piss water.
Just fucking face down in
They had
the
yellow
frozen
lines.
piss
Yeah.
water, getting smushed down by some Canadian.
And so there was 6 teams. There was Boston. There was New York, Boston Bruins, New York Rangers. There was the Detroit Red Wings. There was the Toronto Maple Leafs. There was the Montreal Canadiens. And there was the Chicago Blackhawks. It was two different words in that day. It wasn't Blackhawks. It was Blackhawks.
Now, and it's Black Hawks.
Was this a black cock joke?
John,
You're so stupid.
we'll say it fast.
Chicago Blackhawks.
South side.
Yeah, imagine those guys going up against the fucking Montreal Maroons. These fucking Saskatchewan Stooges fucking slide in there. Oh, God, there's black cops.
Well, interestingly enough, I believe the Maroons, the Maroons might have been created to get American Canadians interested. In professional hockey. I believe there's something about that, but the Canadian former, I don't know.
There's nothing more that American hockey fans like than Blackhawks.
Well, if you're in Chicago. Now,
These are the penalty cocks.
also, in those days, no one wore a mask or a helmet.
No, yeah, the fucking goalies, right?
Goalies did not.
Their faces would be destroyed.
Oh,
So
yeah.
yes and no. I mean, they would get beat up, but we'll get to the famous picture eventually. But there wasn't behind the goals. Eventually, there would be some sort of tempered glass, but around the sides, it was just chicken wire
Around the sides of the rink.
Yeah.
Fuck. So like the fans were getting fucked up too.
Well, I mean, the puck would go into the stands and hit them and stuff, but fans could put their fingers through they could poke players.
Oh my God!
And the wire was soft enough that if players were getting heckled, they would just hop over the wire and start fighting fans.
Yes, yeah,
That's cool.
And then there would be some sort of like fence. Material, maybe it's a little tougher than chicken wire. But even, in the rink I played in the early 90s when I was a kid, they didn't have the plexiglass. They had chicken wire. So it was been used
Indoor rink.
used for a long time, yeah. And so that's, the kind of these early, and the sticks were all flat. So there wasn't a lot of high shots. It wasn't until Bobby Hall became famous. He's a Blackhawk guy. And he became famous because him and his trainer devised a way to heat the stick and bend the blade so it'd have these giant curves.
Yeah.
So then they could shoot the puck high.
That's cool.
And so, there was kind of this thing like players would keep their sticks down, try not to poke people in the face. Shots would be low. So the
Played it a little bit different.
is a little bit different.
yeah.
Once you're shooting the puck up near shoulder level, then people
are
get
like, hey,
a little
what
more
gives?
dangerous.
We agreed.
And there's also a time of guys like these guys are all tangentially related to this story. I don't think I'm going to mention any of them they're in the story, but guys with names like Mud Brunetto,
Mud.
Sugar Jim Henry,
Sugar.
Fleming Mackle,
Phlegm.
Lefty Wilson, Punch Imlock, Gump Worsley.
Gump Worsley.
Good guys.
Sam Speed.
Nice guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They would have
Bunch
nicknames
of really
like
good guys.
Nicknames like Mr. Goalie and the China Wall.
The China Wall.
Yeah.
It's a wall made of fine china.
No.
The China Wall, they call it?
That's what they called this one man.
Was he a goalie?
He was a goalie. And I want, before I say this, I would like to say, whoever's listening, please don't accuse me of not liking pornography if you don't like what I'm going to say. But he was a Ukrainian Canadian, and you look at a picture of him, maybe there's some racial idea about he had
Chinese.
He had
Chinese. Go on.
He had Chinese. His knees.
But he is Eastern European Ukrainian.
Okay. I mean,
Asiatic features.
Yes, thank you,
yeah.
Aaron.
I mean, it would make so much more sense to just call him the Great Wall. Nobody calls it the China Wall.
Exactly. Why say the China Wall?
Because they're like, no, we're trying to be racist too.
Exactly.
Oh, my little China Wall.
So I'm going to talk about.
Sing a song.
It's from Star Wars.
It's cantina music.
I'm going to talk about a guy, also a Ukrainian Canadian. His name is Terry Sawchuk. There's only one biography written about him, and it will probably only ever be one biography written about him because most of the people he played with are dead. And I don't think you can find any more information than what is in here. Now, this comes from David Dupuis with his book Sawchuk. I'm not going to read the subtitle because
that'll give too much away.
We'll get there.
Yeah. He's got a nice Jason Voorhees mask on.
He does it on the book, but so also with the Big Six, there was a rule that all the teams could only draft players or sign players within like a 50-mile radius of their
the way it should be
of their team.
So if you're a Blackhawk and you're outside of the Chicago Metro, sorry, go play somewhere else.
All right, so then it would be expanded eventually, but even then.
Yeah.
The 50-mile radius was for the first pick, I mean. Mm-hmm. So if you found like a diamond in the rough and Montreal didn't want him in Montreal, you could have him.
Oh.
Yeah.
But Montreal got first pick.
Yeah.
And so that's why the Montreal Canadiens and Toronto Maple Leafs, even though they were the only two teams in Canada, for years they were dominated the NHL because they got all the best players.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And meanwhile, Chicago would get some Canadians. Detroit they would have more Canadians than Chicago, but Boston was in a little bit of trouble. They could get some guys from Montreal.
Yeah.
And the Rangers were, Boston and the Rangers are usually pretty bad. And Chicago is perennially one of the worst.
Most of these guys probably lived in their cars anyway, so the distance thing was probably pretty solvable.
Yeah, it's pretty.
The trick is to register your vehicle inside the city limits.
That's right.
This is my home animal house.
Most of these guys were signed before they could drive. That was okay. So
wow, like that young?
Yeah. As you'll see. So it's December 28th, 1929, Manitoba, Winnipeg, Canada. Terrence Gordon Sawchuk is born. Now, he's the son of a Polish-Ukrainian immigrant, father, Ukrainian mother. He's also the third child of the family. The second Sawchuk child would die of scarlet fever shortly after he was born. He would grow up sharing a bed with his older brother, the first child born, Mitch. And when he was growing up, his dad would work and his mom stayed home, as it was then. But they had a big field next to their house, and in the winter they would flood it and turn it into a giant ice skating surface, about 6 houses long, they said. And
6 houses long.
And all the neighborhood kids would come by, and people would play on it with or without skates. But he would spend Terrence or Terry, as they called him. He would spend almost all day, him and his brother Mitch. They'd wake up, go skate somewhere. Not that many indoor rinks, so if they're being used, there's plenty of outdoor places. Ponds, lakes, rivers, any of that shit. Some guys, the yard next to your house, maybe. Sub-zero temperature. Sometimes you get down to negative 20 while they're playing.
Fuck!
They would only stop to eat and presumably piss and shit, I assume.
I guess.
It's not in the book, but I assume they do.
They might, yeah. And that freezes too.
And that's immediately.
Yeah, and that's nice.
Yeah.
It freezes midstream.
Even on the river.
Oh, dude, it's negative 20?
Yeah.
It's too cold.
Yeah.
It is. Well, but if you're skating around, that helps. The tough thing is when, like, your mom is watching on the sidelines.
Yeah.
And she's like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Let's go home.
Let's
go to the...
Yeah, Mom, get the fuck out of here. I'm skating with my boys.
Let's go home to the wood fire, the whole house.
Yeah. Fuck negativity.
Yeah, man. Even negative 20.
Now, Terry's brother Mitch, he would become a high school goalie. He was Terry's idol too. So any chance Terry got, he would put the pads on as well. Terry was an accomplished forward and just in general a very good hockey player, one of the best in town for his age. But when Terry was 10 years old, Mitch, 17 years old, died of a heart attack.
17-year-old Mitch died of a heart attack.
Yeah.
Good God.
And so now the Terrys had lost their first two kids.
Yeah.
The wrong one died, Terry.
And Terry was 10 years old, and he's now the eldest child in the family.
So no idea why he died of a heart attack at 17.
No.
Probably got that COVID vaccine.
Probably just being outside.
Yeah, your heart was like, I give up.
Yeah.
I mean, not tough living back then.
Yeah.
So who knows?
Everybody talking about fucking. Everyone was tougher back then. Fucking, he died. Of heart
Well, the ones that lived.
Yeah.
The
Plus,
great filter.
What are they eating too? You know.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? Now, so Terry's dad, he started a sheet metal business, and he would be out of town all the time selling this. So Terry's mom, she would be extremely harsh as his mother. You can imagine how a house might change, with that kind of trauma in it.
Oh yeah.
And it was Terry. He would later say he loved his mother, but the house was not full of love. But he found love on the ice. When he was on the ice, that may have been the only place he was happy. And idolizing Mitch, and also being incredibly talented in and out of goal. He was actually so good as a kid, his mother forbade him from playing football because she's like, I don't want you to get hurt because you're going to be a professional hockey player. Except
It's like, man, that really tells you how brutal football is.
Mm-hmm. What do you mean?
It's like, listen, man, I'd rather have you skate on knives on frozen water than play football.
Yeah.
Because it's dangerous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So one Sunday
You
morning,
can fight here. You can punch guys in the face.
Yeah.
No helmet, no
yeah.
pads. But football is where I draw the line.
Mm-hmm.
One Sunday morning on the way to church, Terry sees a group of friends playing football, and they tell him, "You gotta come, Terry, come play come play football." And he's like, "No, if I do, my mom's gonna get pissed because it's a sin to miss church." And they tell him he's like a pansy, and so he goes.
I'm sure that's what they said.
He goes and plays football.
They did say pansy.
Yeah. You're a pansy.
Yeah. And so as he's playing football, in the middle of this big pileup, he hurts his right elbow badly.
Oh no.
And he gets home and he's like all beat up, but he hides it from his mom. And he says he fell while walking out of church. That's how his clothes are dirty. And even with this elbow, it hurt immensely, and it really wasn't moving very much.
Uh-oh.
And he didn't want to tell anybody about it because he knew he'd get in trouble, so he didn't tell anybody about it. And so he managed to hide it well enough, and he became the best goalie in town, even with this weird elbow. It was his right elbow, too. It would have been his blocker side elbow.
Yeah.
He held the goalie
What
stick.
you're saying is it never healed right? Is that what you're getting at?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But, well
Sorry.
I mean...
So you had like a Bob Dole arm.
Kind of, yeah. And then the next year, he's on some sort of skateboard device, as they had back then.
A skateboard device.
Yeah, no, Back to the Future wasn't a skateboard yet.
Marty hadn't made it back yet.
Yeah, there's a thing, you held on to like some pansy.
Oh, yeah. Like the one they have in 1955.
That's what he's getting at.
Yeah. And so while he's riding one of these, he falls and he injures his elbow again.
Fucking idiot.
And now he can't. Now he can't even raise it. He gets out of bed. He can't do anything with it. So now he can tell his mom because he didn't, skip out on church. And the doctors take a look at it, and they discovered that the previous break had caused the elbow to calcify, bent, and deformed.
Oh my God.
And so the only way to really fix it they would have to break it again. And they were like, I don't know if we should do that because then he might lose it. But then while it's sitting in a cast, it gets gangrene. Fuck.
I don't know why you're taking this so personally, but I really enjoy it.
It sucks.
He loved that elbow.
Fuck, man.
Fucking idiot. You fucking psycho.
these fucking parents and these kids and these fucking doctors, man. Like everybody's doing the wrong thing.
Yeah.
I know. It's so great.
Yeah.
Fucking idiots.
Comedy of errors. God, a gangrenous calcified elbow.
Yeah.
Fucking shithead.
Yeah.
So he's turning blue. It's like it's really looking bad. But they give him some medicine, and somehow he pulls through.
Jesus.
And his elbow is just
Locked.
it can move up. It can't move back straight.
Yeah.
But it doesn't hurt his goaltending. You know, as a goalie, your stick's on the ice, your elbow's kind of already in that position.
Yeah.
So that's good.
God forbid anybody shoots above your fucking.
Thankfully, he's playing against a bunch of kids with flat sticks.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now you probably would have to put on like a pair of skates and like move backward and forward to jerk off. You know what I mean?
He could use his other hand, John.
Shut up. He could use his other hand.
He's a fucking natural athlete.
I don't know, dude. Maybe.
He could put on a pair of skates.
Yeah, and just, you know what I mean? But you got the hand there, stationary.
Why does he need the skates?
Because it's cold.
You're
No.
listening to your
John, have you ever masturbated before?
You can go really fast.
You know that time that guy said that he doesn't think we like porn.
Yeah.
I don't think John's ever masturbated.
Yeah, I'm working up to it.
I think he has, but he didn't like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been edging myself for 40
He
years.
found his elbow too mobile.
Just batting it all over the place.
Yeah, God. But his goaltending is still like everybody is just going, this guy is amazing. And there's a local guy who works for the Detroit Red Wings, and he's hearing this news, and he sees this kid play, and he's like, holy shit. So at age 14, he gets a tryout with the Detroit Red Wings.
Jesus.
And they sign him to a contract. And so, like, you know, he's I don't know if there were any rules against how young you can be, but the Red Wings weren't going to put the 14-year-old on their team.
How young you can be.
To play. Look, it was a weird
You're
time.
just looking at babies going, oh,
They're 5.
nah, dude.
That's illegal. This guy can't possibly be this young.
They got a house full of them in there. What
Hurry
the
up.
fuck?
Hurry up before anybody finds out you're this young.
I think that's like a kid with a heart attack found out about the rule.
Shit.
Or maybe he was 24. Who knows?
Yeah.
Was he Puerto Rican?
Oh, they all, you know, everybody back then had
Dominican, sorry. Shit. Sorry, Puerto Rico.
everybody back then had faces that today made them look
Yeah,
15
that's
years
true.
older.
That's
so
true.
maybe they were.
Oh yeah.
So at age 14, it's a preliminary contract with the Red Wings. So no one else, because there was word that the Blackhawks were interested, and the Red Wings were like, well, let's just sign him to a preliminary thing. No one else can touch him.
Take him off the table.
So at age 16, he reports to a junior affiliate of the Red Wings, and he just plays. I think it's just a month or two, but he shows his stuff, and they're like, okay, this kid is fucking good. So the next season, they promote him to a junior team that is above that junior team, the one that he would have started on. By now, he's probably 17. He's 5'11". He's 193 pounds.
Nice.
Good size for a goalie, then.
Yeah.
And
And he outlived his brother.
yeah.
And another brother.
Probably most of those pounds were arm.
The calcification.
I'm noticing a lean on you.
He's got that fucking elephant man skeleton.
Yeah. He in his first 2 games, he faces 78 shots, and most of these players are at least his age, if not older. He faces 78 shots. He only gives up 2 goals. For a few months into that season, he's called up to the Red Wings minor league team, and he signs his first professional contract.
So many leagues back then, even. It's so crazy.
Yeah. So he signed to a minor league hockey team, signs a professional contract, about $2 with a $2,000 signing bonus,
Hey.
about $26,000 today, and his first time he's ever been away from home
Yeah.
and staying with these teams. Had no idea, he'd never seen that much money in his life. His mother gave him $5 when he left, and he said, "I think that was the only $5 bill I ever saw her have."
Yeah.
I wonder what she did to get it.
I'll put on some skates.
That kind of show.
Yeah. It's a macho show.
We're a macho show.
He on his 18th birthday, he's playing for one of these minor league teams. This minor league team, he drops to the ice to either cover a puck or block it, and a stick blade catches him in the eye. The doc, it's blood all over. He can't see out of it. He goes to the doctor.
Doesn't tell anybody.
You can't. I mean, so the thing is, back then, every team only had one goalie, and so if the goalie got injured, the game stopped until the goalie came back out or someone else put the pads on.
Yeah.
So it'd be like, oh, hey, everybody, hold on. We got to drag this guy off the ice. You got to either he's going to be okay in 15 minutes or he's not.
Yeah.
And then someone else dresses up, and that's it. So there's one goalie. Like game is like because the teams are cheap and they don't want to.
Sure.
So a doctor with his eye all fucked up. Doctor removes his eye from the socket.
Just out there on the ice?
No. It might have even been in the locker room, but I don't think so. I think it was presumably
Took the eye out.
Took his eye out of the socket.
This is no good.
Put in 3 sutures, and the doctor goes, well, I hope it doesn't get infected, because if it does, you might lose that one and the other one.
Oh, God.
I've just been handling this raw chicken and shit all day.
Well, I finished cooking dinner. Let's go now.
Now get back out there on the ice, son.
I got $5 on this game.
But the next day, the doctor takes off his eye patch. Everything looks good. His eyesight returns. In less than 2 weeks, he's back on the ice.
You mean on the other eye?
With both eyes.
He took his eye out. How can he see with both eyes?
Well, you put the eye back in.
What?
I never.
You did not make that clear. You said he took his eye out.
No, he took it out of the socket. And then
did he put it back?
He put 3 sutures into it. Yes, of course he put it back.
Jesus Christ. That is important information.
What, he just took it out and left it and put an eye patch on?
These people back then, yes.
So he
keep an eye out.
Took the eye out of the socket, put in 3 sutures.
To sew up the eyeball.
Yeah, to put it back in the socket.
God, that's impressive.
Put an eye patch on and said, I hope it doesn't get infected.
Okay, well now I'm on the same page here.
So it didn't get infected.
Still miraculous.
Pretty much, yeah. Didn't get infected. His eyesight came back not long after that. Less than 2 weeks later, he's back on the ice and records a shutout in his first game back.
Wow.
At the end of the season, he's named Rookie of the Year for that league. He had the lowest goals against average, which means amount of goals per game scored against him, or per time on the ice, basically. Later that season, he takes a shot above the eye, a hockey puck shot, Aaron. Not just any shot above the eye.
What you do in the offseason is your thing, John.
But like I was saying about the one goalie, he gets hit above the eye, immediately knocked unconscious. Laying on the ice, they carried him to the dressing room. There's blood just all over his face. He regains consciousness and says, I got to get back in there. Yeah. They give him 5 stitches, and he's trying to get back in there, and they hold him down, and they say, no, the trainer will go in. So then the team trainer then finishes the game. But that's how it was.
Oh, God.
Gary VD on the ice.
So it's around this time that two important things happen for him. One is he develops this what would become his famous goalie crouch, which would basically be him standing with his pads on, and his back is bent almost at a 90-degree angle. Because as the game progresses and the players get better, there's a lot more shots coming to the goalie with players in front of it, screen shots. And so in order for him to see those shots, he has to get down and get below the waists of people to see where those pucks are coming from. And so he's one of the first. Most of the goalies would stand pretty upright and just kick around with their legs a lot. But he got low with his back, and that's how he was able to see the puck really well.
And he could rest on that elbow.
Yeah. Good lean.
No, it's true. And the other thing was that he started drinking for the first time.
Oh, good idea.
Yeah.
That's why he's all crouched over fucking twerking and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that purple stuff.
This is from the book. For young players, the best method of releasing tension was either sex or a drinking binge. Most of the guys chose a combination of the two.
Yep.
After a game, when the team went to a bar, the guys would have their pick of from 12 to 20 women. If you wanted to, you could have gotten lucky every night of the week. These women all had their own places, their own apartments.
Women's lib.
And his nickname was Yuk, so you might, because he's Ukrainian. It took me a while to remember that he's Ukrainian. I was like, why do they call him Yuk? And one of his teammates remembers this when he was playing on this team in Indianapolis. In Indianapolis, when the uke was on beer, he was all right. But here it got into the rye or scotch, he got mean. And Terry was not great with women. He was kind of an awkward, not incredibly well-spoken, kind of just an awkward guy. Maybe his greatest friend would later describe it as this. He said, this is Marcel Provenost. Terry was not good with women, nor was he good for women. For Terry to get lucky, he had to be practically set up. He had a couple of girls that would visit him from Indianapolis, but he never had a steady girlfriend. The broads that Terry had in those early days were anybody's broads, who could go to the post with any athlete. But Terry would certainly not hold a candle to many NHLers, nor some of our teammates when it came to women. But I do remember one time in Montreal, the night before a game. In those years, we used to frequent this place called the Chicken Coop. Well, the next thing you know, Sawchuk was on a date with a lady named Gerda Munsinger.
Uh-oh.
And as it's written in the book, the name didn't mean much back then, but Gerda Munsinger would many years later be implicated in alleged sexual affairs with Canadian cabinet ministers accused of spying on behalf of the Soviet Union against Canada.
Oh, my God.
Well, he had luck with
Spies.
Damn.
But not good with women, nor good for women, and that would, nor good drinking. That's going to become important.
Hockey player.
So by the end of this next season with this minor league, this other minor league team, he's again named Rookie of the Year.
Because he joins.
So the previous season he was with like a lower minor league team. This time he goes to the minor league team one step below the Red Wings.
The minor league.
Yeah. The AHL we now call it.
Got it.
And he's again named Rookie of the Year.
Right.
And he the next season he's 18. He gets his first taste. The Detroit Red Wings goalie gets injured in a charity game with the Harlem Globetrotters, I believe it was.
Hockey?
Yeah.
The Harlem Globetrotters play hockey?
I just saw it today just as a blip, and I believe that's what it was. A charity game. It was like a jokey charity game.
That's funny.
Maybe it was a Harlem Globetrotters-esque game.
No wonder the guy got hurt.
Yeah. But he's 18 and he gets his first shot at being an NHL goalie. He goes 4-3. But he wins 4 games, he loses 3. But he shows himself so well that when he gets sent back down to the minors, the New York Rangers coach who he had played against, he said, "There are only 3 big league goalies right now, and one of them is in the minors."
Wow.
And that year, the Red Wings they win their Stanley Cup, the trophy of trophies in hockey. And their goalie was this guy Harry Lumley. Harry Lumley was 22 years old, and he would become a future Hall of Famer. But the Red Wings general manager was so taken with Sawchuk, he traded Lumley away because he wanted Sawchuk to be the number 1 goalie.
Wow.
Lumley, 22, future Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
So Sawchuk now, he's what, 19? Makes his first NHL team.
Yeah. 2 eyes.
2 eyes.
1 elbow.
1 elbow.
Drinking problem.
Well, not yet.
Bad for women.
Yes.
Bad with women.
Yes.
Arm fucked. Brother's dead.
Both.
So it's 1950-51 season, and he's the starting goalie for the Detroit Red Wings, who just won the Stanley Cup. One of the best teams in hockey. And again, there's only 6 teams.
All 6 are one of the best.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. That's true. But, I mean, and so he's playing on a great team. But still, after 12 games in this season, he has 11 wins, 1 loss. He's allowing less than 2 goals a game in all of these, on average. And by the end of this season, he's again named Rookie of the Year. For the 3rd time in 3 different leagues.
Uh-huh.
And he can't go any higher than this.
Yeah.
So the last time
goes
he'll
to
win
Japan or something.
Yeah.
And he leads the league in shutouts. And he doesn't win back then the Vezina trophy is what they would give to the goalie with the lowest goals against average. But the goals against average was tabulated by team and not goalie. So the goalie who played the most games for a team would win if that team had the lowest goals against. It was a very completely unnecessary, arbitrary system.
Yes.
So Terry didn't win that, but he did have the most shutouts. He was largely regarded as the best goalie in the NHL in his first year. And maybe people are saying he's probably going to be the best ever.
Wow.
And the Red Wings, they lose in the playoff semifinals. Again, there's only 2 rounds back then. Because there's 6 teams, so the top 4 teams, yeah. But the Red Wings, they led the league with 44 wins in 70 games. They set a record for 101 points in 70 games.
Hey.
And Terry got all 44 of those wins, which at the time was an NHL record.
Wow.
First season. That summer, he has surgery on his elbow to remove bone chips that had been accumulating ever since the last time the elbow was looked at. There's just a pile of bone chips.
Yeah.
There's just
They're like cheese titties.
yeah, it's
Everywhere.
You ever dip these bone chips in the cheese titties? It's fucking exquisite.
Are these your mom's?
No, these are my meemaws.
Whatever they are, they're good.
You like them so much, why don't you marry them?
He returns, has the surgery in the offseason, returns to the team. The team is, again, insanely great. 17 players in the team. 7 of them will become Hall of Famers. And they are, again, best team in hockey. After 31 games, he had 7 shutouts, 5 more than any other goalie. The New York Rangers general manager at the time said he's now the greatest goalie in history.
Wow.
After his second season.
Huh.
Statistically, not so, but people are he's doing something that they're seeing.
Statistically, not so.
Well, because he doesn't have
He
doesn't have the most wins.
Yeah.
But they're seeing the writing on the wall.
Yeah. Yeah, he's halfway through the second season when that happens. But so this time the Red Wings, they make it to the Stanley Cup Finals. And they play the Canadiens, and they beat the Canadiens, even though there's one game the Canadiens were losing, and the timekeeper accidentally forgot what time was on the clock, and
They're all
He had one job.
it was just incredible stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, and this was also a time where teams didn't own their rinks. So sometimes the team who had home ice advantage for the Stanley Cup, they wouldn't get to play the first game because they'd already been booked out by the circus.
Oh my God.
So
I'm telling you, these guys lived in their cars. For real.
Cars? You think they had cars?
They don't even own the Stanley Cup.
They didn't have fucking cars.
But Terry, the Red Wings, in 2 7-game series, they win 4 games and sweep both series. Do not lose a single game in the playoffs. Terry has goals against average. He lets in 0.83 goals a game in those 8 games. Has 4 shutouts in 8 games. And the greatest goalie performance in the history of that era and previous eras. I mean, other goalies had 4 shutouts, but they did it in 13 games.
Right.
Martin Brodeur today has the record for most shutouts in the playoffs with 7. He did it in 24 games.
Wow.
Huh.
So Terry Sawchuk, in his second season in the NHL, has just put in the greatest goaltending performance in the history of the hockey playoffs.
Wow.
They don't lose a single game, and this is the first time, as Detroit is about to win the Stanley Cup, someone on the upper balcony of the arena in, I think it was called the Olympia in Detroit, takes an octopus and throws it on the ice.
Yeah, that's a thing.
The 8 tentacles representing its 8 wins needed to win the Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so now they throw them on the ice all the
where the
time.
fuck do you get an octopus?
Yeah,
The
somewhere in
market.
Detroit. There's probably a
The fish
store.
market,
There's a
man.
store that's doing great.
Dude, that's the China Wall guy. He's probably fucking scooping them up in his mouth.
Jesus Christ.
Octopus is the delicacy in many cultures, including Chinese.
I enjoy it, but
Big hentai guy.
yeah, well,
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
so Terry has maybe his greatest season of goaltending ever that season, and still manages to climb the chicken wire and fight a fan, even though he's 21.
Give me that octopus, man.
Imagine having the fucking octopus for the whole fucking game. Just what the fuck? And
just holding it.
and you throwing it, and then be like, "Do you understand? It represents the."
Don't you guys get it?
No, but to be fair, everybody smoked in those places back then. No one would have noticed the smell of a fucking octopus.
Probably smoked fucking crack.
Fair enough that they don't get, but they don't notice it. But being the guy that has to explain the symbolism,
yeah, that's true.
you know,
Hey,
don't you fucking idiot.
So I threw the octopus out there because I was thinking, like, what?
Octo from the Greek for 8 or Latin, whatever it is.
And puss because it's a fucking ugly
Because
motherfucker.
it stinks like shit.
Hey, imagine if they lost and he had to like throw in the trash can on his way out, and he was like,
These guys were hungry.
Yeah.
These guys were eating it.
You probably would have held hands with it on the way home.
Grilled octopus is a fine thing.
All right, stop going off about the octopus, will you?
Why?
So that summer, Terry again had, now this time he has 60 bone pieces removed from his elbow.
60?
Yep.
They keep chipping away, man.
Yeah. I mean, they're probably
You know, some guy's got a chip on the shoulder.
It's the gift that keeps on giving.
yeah. And but the Red Wings, they struggle, and maybe it's a hangover from like 2 insanely great seasons. But they struggle during the season. In Montreal, he climbs over the chicken wire and tries to fight a guy because he's probably guy. I mean, he
He's
doesn't.
sticking his dick through the chicken wire.
Yeah,
Going, ooh, check out this
you never
one-legged
know.
octopus.
I'd be fucking clobbering everybody with that fucking rock arm.
Oh yeah,
But eventually,
the thing.
the Wings do rebound, and they again have the best record in hockey. Sawchuk has the lowest goals against, but they lose in the semifinals. And Terry's run of 229 playoff minutes without giving up a goal
Damn,
ends.
that's a lot.
That's a lot. And then that summer, he goes to a golf course with some buddies, and he meets his wife.
Ooh.
His wife has
The
an
19th hole.
incredibly terrible childhood that I'll talk about in the Patreon. Just absolutely. We're talking about how bad those
So
days
she's a
were.
hoe, right?
No, she's not. She's an incredibly sweet lady who.
She's a hoe, right?
For show.
She worked at a
She's
golf.
a hoe for show.
She worked at a golf course her dad owned.
How bad could her show?
She was. I think she was.
You, dude.
She was 17 or 18 when Terry met her. But she said he didn't go. His friends all went golfing, and he stayed in and talked to her the whole time. And they had a very sweet afternoon. She said he was a perfect gentleman. We got along great. We ate, went swimming, visited with my parents, laughed, and had fun. He never talked about his hockey team, his athletic abilities as goalie, or that in fact he was a celebrity. And so, it seemed like a very nice little sweet thing. And he was probably the first man that she had ever, dated for all we know. I don't know.
Do you think he might have become like some Happy Gilmore type guy if he
If he-
went out?
Oh
on the
my
green?
God.
If he wasn't
yeah.
distracted by the vagina.
Yeah. Who knows?
Now, was she a spy?
No.
No.
As far as we know,
As
no.
far as you know, yeah.
They got married that summer.
Neat.
And I think, she was 18. And they had to get married that summer because all the NHL teams had a rule that no players were allowed to get married during the season.
Good rule.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Because they don't want them to fuck up the team.
oh yeah.
By
You're married to the
thinking
guys.
about
fucking
stuff.
raining octopi and they're climbing over fucking walls to fight the fans.
Yeah, well, that's what the coaches
but
want.
don't get married.
Coach, because that's on the ice, outside the rink. You're thinking about some ladies?
Come on, dude.
No.
I don't think so.
Get your head out of your ass.
But Terry doesn't really know what he's doing, and he the next season he has to report to camp, so he just takes his 19-year-old wife. He goes, "Here's an apartment in Detroit. You live there now. I'm off to camp." And she said it was just an absolute fucking shithole.
Really?
Just full of roaches, and she didn't know anybody.
yeah, of course.
He wouldn't give her money.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
But she did. This is her description of his pregame ritual.
Oh, boy.
His habit the day of a game was to have steak, salad, and Jell-O before noon, and then to sleep until late afternoon.
Okay.
That was it.
That's it.
Yep. Oh, and he probably smoked a pack of cigarettes too. He would smoke a pack a day.
Damn.
Yeah. I mean, probably maybe half a pack because he smoked the other pack after the game. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, pretty cool stuff.
Well, it's not like he's skating up and down the ice.
It's true, right? But it does take a lot out of you to be a
course.
goalie.
Without a doubt.
And actually, here, let's. I'm going to show you. I want to show you a picture of.
Take your fucking eye out.
Smoke up, Johnny.
Show you a picture of Terry. Show you a picture of his elbow and of a.
Oh God.
All right. So here's him in surgery. Here's a picture of his elbow.
Jesus.
Huh.
Zoom in. Enhance.
You see all the scars from the previous surgeries.
Yeah.
Oh my
And,
God, he looks like the Piltdown man.
Yeah, and that's not it bending for the doctors. That's
Dude,
how it is.
Yeah.
It was. Yeah. But to give you a little look of how he would look.
He looks like Deadpool. Why is
That's how he looked before games. That was the equipment he wore underneath the sweater.
Okay.
So a leather vest.
Yeah.
With some padding underneath it, and then some soft padding. And
He definitely looks Ukrainian.
here's how he looked post game. Oops.
All fucked up.
Just absolutely beat to shit with a cigarette in his mouth.
Wow.
Yeah. Looks like he got shot up.
Yeah, he's pretty worn out, right?
Looks like he was victim of a drive-by shooting.
It's like the fucking Michelin Man.
He kind of does, actually.
He's got a comforter on as a fucking sweater.
This next season, another great season for Sawchuk and the Wings. He ties his personal record with 12 shutouts. The Wings again win the Stanley Cup. He's now won 2 in 3 seasons.
Oh.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. And then that summer, he's driving home from the golf course. The car is trying to pass. Another car comes into his lane. He swerves to miss it, drives and hits a tree, crashes into a tree. He's hospitalized with a collapsed lung.
Damn.
It's now his 5th straight off season in the hospital.
Jesus.
Holy fuck.
Yeah.
Oh, because of the chips.
Because the chips, yeah.
And dip.
I mean, it's because of the chips, but it's also here's his off-season routine. This is his wife Pat describing it. Terry developed a daily routine from the time a season ended until it began in the fall. He would get up in the morning, drink 100 coffees, smoke 1,000 cigarettes, read the newspaper, do the crossword puzzle, be dressed and out of the house by noon, and head down to the VFW.
Uh-oh.
100 coffees. You drink 100 coffees. You smoke 1,000 cigarettes. You fucking Sudoku and leave me alone.
What foreign war was he in?
No, I think
Hockey.
he just went down.
Yeah.
He went to the VFW
To
hall.
drink
Yeah.
cheap.
Yeah, to drink cheap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you
That's
can't
where you
afford
drink.
it.
That's where you drink cheap. Well, he was a cheap man. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, he wouldn't give her money.
he would not, yeah, he wouldn't, yeah. Yeah, other play, like, we'll get to it.
Give your wife money.
It's got more episodes of Chips than Eric Estrada.
Very good job. Yeah. His off season though, his wife Pat gives birth to the first kid. Upon seeing his mother holding the kid, just goes berserk on his mother, and is like, "That's not how you hold a baby. What the hell are you doing? That's not how you do this."
You gotta have an elbow that's like this.
And basically kicks his mom out. She
here.
leaves the next day, but basically he berates her until she's
$5.
And his wife Pat said it was around this time that Terry's behavior started to take a turn. There wouldn't be any more parties for the team at their place. He started drinking more, and around this time he started drinking with the Detroit Lions.
Uh-oh.
It's got to stay away from these football characters.
Yeah.
They're no good.
Every time. They would drink until they threw up. And then
Probably because he got a head injury in that car crash, and he's like, hey.
I could be a football player.
Hey, what are you guys up to?
drinking?
My spidey sense is going up. You guys have head injuries?
I'm not joking.
No, I know.
I mean, I would say if the behavior taking a turn sounds like could have had a head injury in the car crash.
Certainly, yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Tree might do that to you.
Yeah. So the Lions players, they would just drink until they throw up, but they also drank with, like, they partied with a lot of women. And so Terry would too. And then there's the story of Christmas that season. It's 4 a.m. Terry arrives home at 4 a.m. completely drunk. He sees that there's diapers on the divider in the hallway, berates Pat. He's saying, "Why are these diapers here? What the fuck is this?" Throws him on the floor. Then the baby's crying in the background. Terry pisses on a wall, takes the Christmas tree and the ornaments, throws them on the ground, and storms out.
Nice.
Yeah.
Pisses on a wall.
Place smells like piss.
Yeah.
If only I had a diaper. Shit.
Yeah. But it didn't stop his great play.
Oh, good.
No. Nothing will.
No.
Nothing.
You're absolutely right. He recorded 4 shutouts in 16 days at one point. But then by February of that year, he's starting to get inconsistent, and he's benched. And then it's later revealed he probably had mononucleosis or alcoholic hepatitis.
Oh, one or the other.
Because they both have similar symptoms. But there was a mononucleosis thing going around, and his wife said he definitely didn't have that because the team general manager would have told me.
Right.
Yeah.
He wouldn't have told
And
me.
she would have got it too.
Right. He wouldn't have told me if he had alcoholic hepatitis though, because that's not contagious.
Yeah.
But the symptoms are flu-like illness, swelling of the liver, jaundice, feelings of fatigue, and but you have to eat well and not drink in order to stop that.
Yeah. And smoke a lot.
You can't have more than 500 cups of coffee.
No.
No. Not in a day.
400 tops.
Not
For
in a
noon,
day.
yeah. But he is he by that point, like he's playing inconsistently. You know, he had this great run, and then Is he
the ripe old age of 25 now?
he's like 23.
He looks like shit.
Yeah, but I mean, at some point, all the talent in the world won't fix that much partying.
Right.
Yeah.
And so the Wings call up their backup goalie from the minors, a guy named Glenn Hall, a.k.a. Mr. Goalie. He would also become a Hall of Famer. And so he played really well. And so he played well that there were all these rumors started going around like Red Wings are going to get rid of Sawchuk. He's unpredictable. And so Sawchuk then he buttons down. He
Gets his shit together.
Gets his shit together. The Wings turn it around. They start playing well. They win 14 out of 15 near the end of the season. They're top of the standings again. Sawchuk has another 12 shutouts. And
Good God.
His first 5 seasons of Detroit are arguably the greatest. Actually, I don't even know if it's arguable. The greatest first 5 seasons of any goal in the history of hockey.
Wow.
That year, the Wings would beat the Canadiens in the Stanley Cup.
Hey.
Montreal Canadiens. And then that summer, the Wings traded him to Boston.
The Bruins?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Because they said, we have a good goalie. We don't need the unpredictable one.
Yeah.
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 You could have
And in
one.
Boston, they love weird body parts.
But let's take a little break, and then we'll come back and talk about his sojourn with the Bruins.
Oh,
All right. Be right back, folks. And we're back.
Hey, wow.
All right.
Out of sight.
So, Terry Sawchuk, greatest 5 seasons in the history of goaltending, traded to the Boston Bruins.
Starting to get a little funny.
He didn't know about it until a friend told him to turn the radio on, and then he heard the news. His wife, Pat, said it was the darkest day of his life.
Pretty
Why?
proud.
Oh, just because he was gotten rid of, kind of?
Yeah, but also, like, just the team that brought him up didn't even have the courtesy to tell him they were going to trade him.
Bye.
Damn, yeah, that's rough.
Yeah. So they go to Boston, and when they're in Boston, because when he was with the Wings, he was already established on the team before his wife, Pat, joined him. And so I don't think people on the team really got a look at kind of what was going on in their relationship. But when they got to Boston, that the Bruins teammates and their wives got a fresh look at Sawchuk and Pat's relationship.
He did have a wing, too, when you think about it.
So yeah, he never gave her money for her and the kids. If she needed money, she would have to borrow from the other teammates' wives.
Huh?
Yeah.
And get it where? After, to pay them back.
So
Yeah, was she borrowing it or just taking it?
I think they would just let her have it. Wow. And
They put it on the arm.
So this is what one of the teammates' wives, Jean Flamand. Her husband was named Fern. You know, the Canadians, man. Pat was a real sweetheart. She was just a young kid, really, but a real pet. She lived near a good friend of mine, so I saw her frequently. There's one thing I'll never forget is that Terry would often leave her without money. He'd be gone on for a road trip for days. She'd have no money except for this drawer they had in the house which had money in it, but she wouldn't touch that money. She'd borrow money from us to buy stuff or groceries for the kid, you know. She'd not touch a cent of the money that Terry kept in that drawer. I found it so odd. And Pat said, Terry's always had to control his money. If I touched a cent of the money in that drawer, he would go livid, berserk. He wouldn't hit me, nor did I feel physically threatened, but boy, he'd go on a tirade.
Fuck.
In those later years, it only got worse.
Damn.
Yeah.
Drawer full of money.
You can't touch.
Don't.
Yeah, why not keep it somewhere else?
Yeah, under the mattress.
Yeah, I don't know. This guy's not, the most advanced thinker.
No.
Yeah.
A drawer is good.
Who will think to look in there?
He's peeing on walls, you know?
Yeah.
He doesn't know what diapers are for.
Dude,
He's peeing on walls.
I know, dude. You got a diaper. You got a wall full of diapers. You can,
Yeah, pee on the diapers.
You don't want to go to the toilet? Hey, that's your
It's your
business.
apartment.
He was just
Why not aim for the
marking
diaper?
his territory. It's my house.
Yeah.
We don't put diapers on dividers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hear that, Santa? Fucking mash this tree on the ground, piss on it.
I don't see no Santa here.
My cookies now. I'll dip in piss if I want.
Cookie of the year.
Slava Ukraini, motherfucker.
So, Jean Flemon, she also noticed this. She said, we often had, this is about Terry at parties, we often had team parties at our house and Terry and Pat would come over. I thought Terry wasn't very close to his wife. I remember him bringing some beer to a party once and taking home what he hadn't drunk. I didn't like that.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
It's kind of it's the price of admission.
Yeah.
You leave the beers.
But if you have a drinking problem, that might be a sign.
You got to tend to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a garden.
It's a garden.
Yeah, you got to tend
These things
to
don't blossom
Yeah.
on their own.
Yeah. You got to take time off and feed that thing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Really?
Like a diaper.
Well, if I'm wearing it, yeah. So
You got to feed the diaper.
Jesus Christ.
the Bruins were not a good team that year, and that didn't help things either. They finished 5th out of 6 teams. It's nearly
Nearly the
worst.
bottom.
Yeah.
But they're one of the 5 best
They are one of
in the whole league.
but they don't make the playoffs either, so it's tough.
Shucks.
They led the league in losses, and they scored the fewest goals.
They led the league.
A few months into the next season, though, they're playing well. Sawchuk's playing well. Woo. The Bruins are shockingly in first place. And then all of a sudden, again, things start falling apart for Terry. He has fever, headaches, swollen lymph glands in the neck, armpits, and groin.
Ew.
Jaundice. Blood test confirms this time he definitely has mononucleosis.
Oh.
He
Was
rests.
he a junior higher? Fuck, do you get mono?
Yeah, you know.
Kissing all these random Bostonites.
Probably.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Asking them about their body part.
Eating raw octopus and shit.
Yeah.
Do you want to see my body patch?
Yeah, this Canadian accent.
Mono as he's what, 25,
Yeah, it's like
27?
that, yeah.
Stop it.
Stop it. Yeah, but this is a thing that might just, you might get it and it would be gone.
But he's so in such bad
drinking.
health.
He's drinking and smoking and staying, like, it's just, he's not giving his body a chance to get rid of any of this shit.
Salient point.
And so he rests in a hospital for 2 weeks, then he hops back in the starting lineup. And he initially, again, starts playing well, and then he's just, he just has no energy left. He can't mentally, physically, and one night, it gets so bad that one night he completely blacks out, and he wakes up in a hotel room with his pockets just full of cash. Because apparently he had blacked out and cashed his $3,000 paycheck and just went to town and doesn't remember a single thing. And so he says, like, I don't know what the hell's going on anymore. I can't do this. And he decides to retire.
Wow.
And here's...
He had racked up a $2,000 bill to 100 gauge.
And that's an international call where he's from.
And it was for him.
The call was coming from inside the dude.
roomy in there. As you can imagine, his
When a gay dude calls. Porno parody.
yeah, that's good. As you can imagine, his coach took it rather well. Here's Coach.
Yeah?
Coach Milt Schmidt.
Milt?
Milt Schmidt. Short for Milton Schmidt, I'm guessing.
Was that other girl's name? Gerda Gunslinger?
Gordon Munson.
What was it? Farb Snargle? Gerp? Gulp? Gump?
Yeah.
Like shit McFadden.
There was a guy
He's like,
named Gump Snarg.
Yeah, really. You know what? The names are as ugly as the people back then.
Yeah.
They really, like, you know.
You're kind of a gump.
Yeah, I'm Barbara Flame On. This is my husband, Herb Fern.
Yeah, no, I mean, you're right.
Star of Shelfton.
So this is Milt Schmidt, he said he was home in bed with the flu and he got a phone call that Sawchuk was retiring. So he calls Sawchuk, eventually reaches him, and he says, this is what he tells the press. This isn't like something he saved
Nice.
years later. This is what he told the press the next day. He said, when I finally reached him, he said he had no reason for quitting. He was just fed up. He said in the last 8 games, he only played 2 good ones, included he was finished. I told him, you'll have a black name all over the country, and you'll never be able to escape it. Your family, your wife, and kids will pay for the name you give them. You're not sick. Your nerves are not shot. You're just quitting. Walking out in your team and your name, well, you're the one who's going to suffer the consequences. As far as I'm concerned, a quitter is the lowest animal. Inspiring stuff.
Yeah.
Will you stay?
Yeah. Did I get you to come back? I think he had his mind made up after I called him all those names.
Wow. I told him he was yellow from the jaundice.
Yellow belly, swollen lymph node, teeth falling out of his face.
I replaced by medical miracle.
Basically Russian.
Boomerang arm.
Chain smoking. Coffee drinking.
Ukulele playing.
Dead sibling having. Cheapskate. Won't you stay with the team?
I'm all torn up.
Chewing me up.
See what you're doing to me.
What are you gonna do? Piss on walls all day?
Piss on my walls.
We got plenty of walls in the clubhouse.
We got a China wall.
You can piss on him. He loves it. He's yellow like you.
Oh, he will be. God, their piss must have smelled so bad.
God, oh. Unfiltered cigs,
Yeah. Fucking
jet black coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking antifreeze. Fucking.
Oh. Fish sandwiches with tacks in them. Boston.
Yeah. But so this is 1957 now. January 21st, 1957. So right after he announced he was going to retire. Huge story all over hockey. And he calls, he has a press conference. First ever press conference by an NHL player.
Holy shit.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Should be some great sentences in this.
Prison sentence.
What is a puck? But a man slapped around by the sticks
Of the system.
of
Terry reads from a prepared statement saying that, he hasn't felt in the right state of mind. He's tried playing, but it's not working. He's lost his appetite. His nerves are shot. He said for his health and his family, he's there's things more important than money, and he's not gonna do it anymore. And then every single member of the press lines up and shakes his hand as he walks out.
Oh, wow.
And
Big celebrity.
yeah. Yeah. And so he tries to retire.
What?
Tries to retire.
But the schedule of a professional athlete is a little bit different than the schedule of working man.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have it in him to like hold down a job. I don't think
So he tried to go get a job. He wasn't.
He worked in a factory briefly. I think he sold cars. He said he couldn't lie to old ladies though, and he couldn't do that. He never asked his dad, his father-in-law, who ran a golf course. He never asked him for a job because he felt it was below him. Instead, he actually got a job bartending across the street from the golf course.
Yeah, that'd be good for him.
Yeah, that's where you want him. He's an expert, after all.
Yeah.
But he could never.
He could never get the tap to work with that elbow.
Yeah.
God.
Or maybe it was just because he kept hitting himself in the.
He could hold the glass at the right angle.
I mean, he poured it so smooth with no head. He was the Happy Gilmore of pouring beers.
We just couldn't stand the smell of them.
It smelled like a bathtub full of piss somebody farted in.
Yeah, he worked briefly for an insurance company, but involved too much socializing.
Just thinking about a bathtub full of piss somebody farted in. It is fresh in my mind.
The motion picture Fresh, 1994, Samuel Jackson.
You want something to drink?
There's only beer. Tastes like a bathtub full of piss somebody farted in.
So,
what? Stop drinking it.
Those are the things I like about it.
Yeah. I know. But actually, that season, the Bruins, without Sawchuk, they would eliminate the Red Wings in the semifinals.
Hey.
They would lose the Canadiens in the finals. And at this point, the Red Wings, the same guy that traded him, had now alienated Mr. Goalie, Glenn Hall.
No.
And Glenn Hall wanted to leave. So this guy, he called up Sawchuk and he said, hey.
He alienated him.
Yeah, because you either like.
You guys really cheese me off.
Boy, I'm peeved. Arg. Wait till I tell Gump about this. He's gonna. He's gonna soil his pantaloons. I tell you, the poutine's gonna be flying. Oh boy,
I'm gonna piss in that fucking Stanley Cup and fart in the fucking
shine
thing.
on it. Oh,
well, so the Red Wings lost to the Bruins, and the goalie Glenn Hall was friends with with Ted Lindsay, who was a former Red Wing and who was, I believe, on the team that beat the Wings. And so after the game, he went over in the locker room and talked to his old friend Ted. And Jack Adams, the guy who owned the GM of the Red Wings, was like, "Don't you ever talk to him? You're not allowed to do that." And Glenn Hall's like, "He's a friend of mine. I'm going to talk to him. Fuck you." Huh. So Jack Adams got pissed at him.
Huh.
And then
ain't here, Ted.
hi Ted.
And Glenn Hall described Jack Adams. He said, "Jack Adams was everything that I disliked in a person." So
good description.
Yeah, and Glenn Hall wouldn't bow to his authority, and so Jack Adams wanted him gone, and so he said, "Hey, I know a guy who will be desperate to be back." And
it's just one thing.
So they made a deal with the Bruins, and they brought Sawchuk back to Detroit. And
It's probably hitchhiked.
And so, what did he agree to play just because regular life wasn't working for him?
Yeah, pretty much. And it's like, he was still going. He was going out and drinking still.
Yeah, now he had more time.
It's permanent off season, but then he would come home drunk and did not want to be there.
Yeah, that's the thing about drinking is that you have more time to do it, but you have less money coming in.
Mm-hmm.
Such a cruel
it's like a
twist.
Catch-22, like
Cruel twist of
man,
fate.
it's a real mess.
and you're trying to tend to your drinking problem.
Yeah. Come on.
Trying to kick it up a notch, you know?
Yeah, dude, it's fucking high gravity over here.
But so the Red Wings, they ran Sawchuk through a bevy of tests, which I don't know, like how many cigarettes can you smoke?
Yeah. How many pucks can you take?
Yeah. Does your arm not work? Great.
Perfect.
And so he bring him back, and he's back on his old team. They finished third that year. Sawchuk plays well enough. When he goes back to Boston for a game, they throw garbage at him while he's on the ice.
Wow.
Is that a sign? Is it metaphorically?
Yeah, no, it was like they were like, we love this garbage.
We love to recycle players. It's metaphorical.
And they again had to bring that.
Yeah, they had to.
Well, there's plenty of garbage at an arena.
Yeah, mostly in the stands.
Yeah, the people.
Mainly the people.
But did you,
And the players.
Initially, the owners didn't want the Zamboni because they felt the fans would watch the Zamboni and not go buy concessions between periods.
Plus, it sounds Italian.
Yeah.
They'd be like, oh shit, here comes the fucking big show.
Here's the fucking exciting.
Yeah, have you seen this fucking? They do this fucking halftime show during the fucking.
It's fucking exquisite.
I'm only hungry for this thing.
Look at that guy. What's his name? Jesus Christ. How do you get that gig? That's a cushy
this
fucking
guy's
job.
the MVP of the league right
He
here.
just turns right. Like a reverse racetrack.
Yeah, we should make a whole fucking league.
Keep throwing garbage so he keeps going.
Mr. Sawchuk, this is for you.
Oh, here we go. Zamboni versus Octopus. Let's see how this one goes.
The fucking regular Spider-Man 2 going on over here.
Fucking creature from the Black Hawk Lagoon.
So the Wasserbroods, or the Red Wings, they play well enough. Terry plays well enough. Things at home do not get any better. They do have a third kid now.
Shit.
Terry is not there for that. And he's not there for the birth. He drops his wife off.
He's not there. Comes over. Who the fuck is this guy?
Another mount.
Well, he knows she's pregnant because she goes into labor. He drops her off. He leaves. She gives birth. She's in the hospital for like a week or something. His dad is there, and everybody in the hospital is like, "Is that the father?
Oh, but
The
his
old
dad?
man?" And then when Pat is kicked out of the hospital, I don't know if that's the phrase, but that's she
Released, I think is.
Is she in the United States?
yeah.
Kicked out's fine.
Yeah.
She goes home to find that Terry has left his 11-year-old sister in charge of the 3-year-old and 2-year-old he has.
Wow.
And the house is just complete pigsty.
Whoa.
Because Terry's just going out doing hockey stuff and drinking, and he's like, "You're 11. You know how to raise kids now."
Damn.
And
His 11-year-old daughter.
his sister.
Terry has an 11-year-old sister?
Yeah.
When he's...
His parents didn't stop fucking just because he made the NHL.
Yeah.
So then technically that his daughter, that newborn could have been the dad's kid.
Yes, I guess he could have been.
That's true.
Yeah.
Good point.
Good for them. Good for everybody involved.
Yeah,
honestly.
really.
Yeah.
Go for
Good
them.
fucking Zamboni driver.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Great kid. So Pat comes home, the wife, she comes home to this, and then there's more rumors about Terry sleeping around. She's pretty sure it's happening, but she's like, okay, she files for divorce. Huge way, Terry, tearful apology, big reconciliation. Not for now. Next season, the Red Wings finished last, missed the playoffs for the first time in 20 seasons. That doesn't help Terry's drinking at all.
How many teams are in the playoffs?
4. Yeah, out of 6.
Nice.
Yeah. During the 59-60 season, his legs would hurt so much after games he could barely walk. Eventually, he was diagnosed with viral neuritis, an inflammation of the nerves. Also,
Caused by a virus?
yeah, but a virus that doesn't go away if you're drinking all the time.
Right. He's not giving his body a chance to do what it does.
So, like, he would drive home from the game and he would need help. You need help getting out of the car, or
Wow. Arm feels fine.
yeah,
Can't feel a gall darn thing. Sometimes when the door's frozen shut on the car, I use the old elbow just to break up the ice.
I wish I could leave it on my steering wheel so nobody could steal the fucking thing. I almost got you.
Ooh, the club elbow?
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. I almost spit up, but I didn't.
You're a strong man.
It takes a man of very iron will not to spit up at something.
Strong men do spit up.
Strong men do spit up.
Thanksgiving that season, he at 3 a.m. he has to go to the hospital because he can't walk. He had drank so much that day.
Oh my god.
Let's see here, and then
What an idiot.
But he is still. I think at this point, he's not playing as many games as he used to, as you can imagine.
Playing games,
but he's still playing pretty well, and and he's playing well enough that people are going like, that old Sawchuk got us again. And in the 60-61 season, the Wings this time they make it to the finals. They lose to Chicago, and now they're starting to use 2 goalies.
That's cheating.
Right. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, they're shooting above the waist.
But they wouldn't have 2 goalies dressed for the game. They just have 1 goalie dress.
Oh.
So if he got injured, then the other goalie, they'd be like a 15-minute wait.
Took his clothes off and give it to the other guy. And the weekend of Bernie's them.
But
What a scarecrow and fucking riot gear out there.
Yeah, exactly. Terry's wife Pat said the shift to the 2 goalie system hurt him as much as the trade.
Wow.
But even it's like, Terry, I don't know, maybe don't drink so much. You could be the only goalie.
Yeah.
But
walking helps.
Yeah.
Walking is great.
Yeah.
That's the way to go.
Yeah. Stop lifting his arm to fucking
Do those 12-ounce curls.
And so after the switch to the 2 goalies, he again considers retirement. There's rumors about that. But at home, the eldest son, Jared, would describe what was going on at home as this. He said, Dad was turning into a very unpredictable man. He'd be real nice one moment, just as mean as could be the next. He'd turn so red in the face and a big vein would pop out on his forehead. When that happened, you were scared because you were about to get hit. I seemed to be the target of whenever he lost his temper. Needless to say, that happened a lot. He said, Dad used to come home all at night, all boozed up, and knock down all the mailboxes on Gulfside Drive. He'd take them all out. The neighbor next right to us got fed up, so he put a mailbox on a 10-inch steel railway girder.
Oh, my God.
Dad never knocked that one down again. Just really, driving home.
fuck this fucking shit.
Finding every driveway is his.
Fucking clipping off your side view mirror, trying to knock down your neighbor's mailbox.
Yeah.
Breaking your other good elbow.
Yeah.
You get what you deserve.
And then the next season, 61-62, the Red Wings were so bad, this time their own fans pelted them with garbage. Because the octopus is for the wins, the garbage is for the losses.
Yeah.
Brought the octopus, but I'm not wasting that here tonight.
And Terry just kept drinking. His best friend, Marcel Provenance, said, at this point in his career and his life, Terry seemed like someone who was slowly committing suicide. He didn't give a damn. He drank if he wanted to, ran around, did what he wanted to.
Huh.
Man. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you're trashing the mailboxes every night,
Yeah.
Gosh.
sounds like
These
you're
are
doing.
federal crimes.
Sounds like you're doing.
These are
sounds
federal
like you're
crimes.
doing what you want. You know.
What you want is stupid.
Yeah.
But I guess, live your best life, dude.
I drink so much I can't walk. I don't care. I'll do what I want.
And he's getting so drunk. Like one time, his mom is visiting, and
She's in for it.
he gets drunk. And one of his kids said, Terry came home drunk out of his mind. He watched him go into the ensuite bathroom and make motions on the wall like he was changing the stations on the TV. I felt sorry for her, his mother, to be seeing her son acting such a bizarre way. She certainly knew what it could be like, but this incident was an eye-opener for both of us. And he started yelling in his sleep. He would yell to teammates in his sleep, being like, "That guy's open! Cover him!"
Wow.
His
That's kind of cool.
yeah, I mean,
I like
except for
that.
the others. But once it on top of the other stuff, it's,
No, the other
bit much.
Yeah,
even when he's
in
sleeping,
a vacuum, that's
yeah,
cool.
even when he's sleeping, he's yelling.
Yeah, but he's dreaming about hockey, so
That's why he's going to the VFW.
Yeah, he's.
Octopus incoming!
You don't know what it was like.
I've seen some shit.
Charlie was in the trees. His name was Charlie.
Yeah, it's Canadian dicks.
It's Blackhawks everywhere. Blackhawk down situation.
Tu beaucoup, sir.
Too Boku. There were no soul brothers.
What is he, Native American?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Blackhawks.
You're right.
When do you think I met?
And you know, for Terry to see his mother at home was pretty hard. It really fucked with his head.
To go to his home?
To see when his mother was at his home. Or no, I mean just to see his mother in general, or to be home and see his family.
Yeah, it hurt. It was pain.
Because I'm trying to find I thought I wrote the page down, but basically, you know,
Not a lot of great memories.
he had control of his emotions and things on the ice, but when he went home and he saw his family and all the love they had, he didn't see a family that he helped create.
Yeah.
He saw the family he didn't have when he was younger.
Yeah.
And which is obviously no excuse, but
Yes.
like there's something going on in his brain. There's no, like, for him to be this
He's
terrible.
jealous of himself
Yeah.
No.
or resentful.
He's
of himself?
resentful of his family.
He would be jealous of his younger siblings, if anything.
Or his kids.
Yes.
Right, which is it's weird. It is
It's
kind
his
of,
family,
It's
yeah.
a self-resentment thing.
Yeah.
It is. And the drinking is only going to
Help that.
make that much worse.
I mean, add to it.
yeah.
You gotta tend to it.
Yeah. So
Bartender.
again, Pat his wife files for divorce. Instead of a divorce, they have another kid.
Nice.
That'll fix it.
Yeah, always.
But right now at this point, Terry
Little hockey.
little hockey.
Purple hockey.
Show me your muscles, son.
So here's
Wow.
and now at this point, Terry he's wearing a mask full time.
Like at home?
No, on the ice. Sorry. This is 62, 63 or so.
When he laughed, it scared the shit out of us.
Here's a picture of him without the mask on the ice there.
Put it on.
Oh, he's about to catch it with his fucking jaw.
And
Whoa.
you know, for a few years before masks became a thing, goalies would wear clear ones in practice. But it was always deemed like pansy shit to wear one on the ice.
Yeah.
And then there's the famous story of Jacques Plante, the Canadiens goalie, who during a game got hit in the face with a puck, goes into the locker room, gets stitched up, and then puts a mask on and comes out. And this is the first time someone had worn a mask in the game. And he would say,
You wear the mask to protect the ones you love.
Yeah.
yeah, but he would say that his own team, the Canadiens, didn't take it seriously. They thought he was being weak until they saw Terry Sawchuk wear a mask.
Huh.
And so once Sawchuk wore it, then the Canadiens were like, oh, okay, you can wear a mask too.
It's normal.
I mean, it's goddamn common sense, folks.
But it's not hockey, John.
yeah.
So that's Sawchuk without the mask. This is Sawchuk with the mask. Let's see. Here we go.
Oh, handsome.
Yeah, he looks way better.
That's scary, dude.
Hello, Clarice.
And you know, it's just a piece of fiberglass.
Yeah.
You know, that puck can still.
Oh, the puck's gonna go right through that. It's just gonna not go as far.
Yeah, and there would be times where they would break the mask and the mask would cut him.
Worse than
But you can still break a nose. You can still break an eye socket.
It looks like Doctor Doom. It's actually kind of cool.
And there's
man.
nothing blocking a stick from poking him in the eye. Yeah,
Wow.
exciting.
These were different times.
And you can see how the ice is still gray
Yeah. Yeah.
because they haven't figured out that people want to see the puck.
They want their ice white.
And these fucking oven mitt fucking.
Oh, I mean, well, the goalie equipment back then, it would get waterlogged. It was heavy as shit.
Yeah.
God.
Full of sweat and melted ice.
And yeah, and there are things like
Ugh.
It smelled horrible.
if they didn't leave the, you know, if they would leave them to dry in the locker room after games, but if they didn't leave the lights on, then the rats would eat the salt out of the equipment. So
Somebody stuffed some octopus in my locker to keep the rats away.
So the veteran trainers realize that if you leave the lights on, then the rats don't come out to eat the sweat off the off the
I'm
equipment.
surprised some genius trainer didn't say, why don't we soak our equipment in strychnine? That'll keep the rats away. Fucking goalies dying left and right.
Does strychnine dissolve body parts?
Do rats eat body parts?
Oh, God. The rats are going, what are these, elbow chips?
These are good. Any hummus?
Okay, so in the 62-63 season, the Red Wings, they lose in the Stanley Cup to Toronto, but Terry plays his 725th regular season NHL game. Just an insane amount.
That's a lot of games.
Of hockey.
How many games in a season? Back then.
Back
and
then it
now.
would be 70.
And now?
Now, 82.
So same as basketball.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
But 4 rounds in the playoffs instead of 2
Right.
Yeah. And only 5 teams. So
today.
you really got to know those guys.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you played them a lot.
Yeah.
And so at 62-63, Terry is...
I knew the rats in the locker room.
Exactly.
I knew the rats in their locker room. Bunch of good guys. Good bunch of guys.
Real good guys.
So Terry's about 33, 34 now. He's been playing, about, 10, 12 years.
No.
10, 13.
Like fucking 17 years.
Yeah, if he was
Oh, yeah.
17 when he was playing, yeah.
Yeah. In the pros, so 15 years. let's say.
Okay, all right, fine.
The Wings lose the Maple Leafs in the Stanley Cup Finals. The next season, Sawchuk, again, he's not playing every game. His numbers are nowhere near as good. You can look at it as the stats table, and you can see those 5 seasons, and then you just see slow fall.
Yeah.
And or maybe,
A precipitous drop.
yeah,
even.
and then a plateau into drop.
Yeah.
But he's still playing enough, and he's playing well. He's playing better than, they wouldn't keep him on the team if he wasn't
Right.
better than other people.
Right.
So he in 63-64, he breaks the record for most shutouts in NHL history with 95. Wow. It took him 798 games. The record when he broke it was 30 years old at that point. By the end of his career, he would have 103. And that record would stand for almost 40 years before it was broken by Martin Brodeur, who was playing 82 games a season.
Right.
And with also not smoking a pack a day.
Right.
For all we know.
Yeah, and probably wearing a mask.
Yeah. For most of his playing career.
Yeah.
And it took him more games to get there, I would imagine.
Oh, yeah. It did. It would almost be like a great comeback year for the Wings, but they again would lose to Toronto. There's a story of Sawchuk, who it's in the playoffs. They're playing Chicago, and he's in the hospital because I think either
Chips.
something is wrong with him. Like he can't. He
Could be a lot of things at this point.
yeah, it really could be anything.
Yeah, his fucking scurvy's acting up.
And let's see. Yeah, I think he had like a dislocated shoulder or something. He was just beat up, and he's in the hospital, and he's like, I gotta play. Leaves the hospital that morning, plays the game, wins the game, goes back in the hospital that night.
Wow.
I don't think he knew anything else to do. It was the only time he wasn't drinking too. So, or when he was in the hospital too.
Wow.
I suppose.
Yeah, probably.
But the Red Wings would lose to Toronto in the Stanley Cup Finals, and that summer there was an interleague draft. So they would be like, you would say, I'm protecting this many players on my team from waivers, and everybody else is free to be picked up by other teams. Terry is left on unprotected, and the Maple Leafs go, holy shit, we have a fucking 40-year-old goaltender. Let's get a fucking 37-year-old goaltender.
Yeah.
Or so. I think he's maybe 35 at this point. But they
Get
snap.
some chicken tenders while we're at it.
He's a bartender, too.
Yeah.
And he tends his alcohol while he plays in the garden.
Have you heard about how he holds the glass?
He only serves himself, but he's great at it. And so they snap Terry up, and he goes, he's on the defending Stanley Cup champion.
Hey.
Wow.
And you know who he was splitting time with?
Tell me.
The China Wall.
No.
Yeah, Johnny Bauer, the China Wall.
Yeah. Who wasn't Chinese at all. He just had jaundice.
Is that right?
I mean, it's wrong.
Yeah.
But it's wrong.
That's true.
It is.
It's true.
It's true. That's true.
Just get
Gotta pull that shit out.
Pull all that Chinese shit out of your wall. All that shit out. Just gotta pull it all out and just throw it on the ice like a Chinese octopus.
So
I didn't make this up.
The octopus is Chinese. They belong to the world, the globe.
They're in Chinese.
And you know what?
waters.
If you weren't throwing those fucking things on the ice, they could be picking World Cup winners. You know?
that's right.
They're teaching us all about the cyclical nature of time.
Yeah.
Yeah, instead of using them symbolically,
Yeah.
like make them bookies.
Yeah.
Like, Jesus Christ, I just fucking lost everything into fucking octopi. Those fucking guys know everything. They got a hand in everything.
It's a fucking unfair advantage.
And now they're doing fucking pornos.
But that's Japanese wall.
So in Toronto, the newspapers would run articles and show pictures of Terry and his family, and it's a beautiful, wonderful time they're having. And Terry left the family in Detroit, and for his first season there, or for the first few months at least. And Pat decided to surprise him one day, and
Oh God!
knocks on the door and hears Terry say, "Oh my God, my wife's here. You gotta get out of here."
He was fucking frozen elbow deep in some.
You can imagine how hard it is for him to dress himself.
Oh, I'm fine.
And
He's got to skate up to the door.
and she waits. It's taking a long time for Terry to come to the door, and she waits, and she said she didn't really even care anymore. And she walks in, and she's looking around, and she finds a diaphragm on the ground, and she goes, "Oh, sir." She goes to Terry. She's joking. She goes, "Oh, sir, are you using these now?" And Terry goes, "Oh no, we use those to even out the fridge."
We use the diaphragm to even out.
Because you put it under the leg, you know. And
Do you think she was making a subtle gay joke at him?
No.
You're using these now?
I think she was trying to be like, "I know you're cheating on me," and he was like, "No, I'm still gonna lie. I don't care. I'm not gonna.
Yeah,
I'm not
no.
gonna admit
I do that to balance out the fridge.
Yeah, I don't want to.
Where I keep my whores.
Yeah.
Or to slide it around or something. But you know, really.
God,
So we don't scuff up the floors.
probably didn't even know what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's probably true.
It's like, maybe I should use that with my boyfriends.
He plays pretty. The splitting time is good for his career. He plays pretty well with Bowers on the Leafs. But they first two seasons in Toronto, they lose to the Canadiens in the semifinals. And then in the off season, after his second season, he's golfing with his son, and he takes a golf swing, and he feels something snap in his back, and he falls to the ground, and he could barely move.
My first time at this rodeo.
But he's with his son Jerry, and Jerry's having a great golf game. And so Sawchuk, Terry tells Jerry, he said, "I'm done playing, but you got to keep going. I'll carry your bag for the rest of the round."
Terry's going to carry the kid's bag?
Yeah.
After
And
he can't
crawl.
walk?
Yeah.
And crawl.
Pretty much, yeah. Just immense pain the entire time. Jerry shoots
That's a good thought.
Jerry shoots a 40 or so, and so it's totally worth it.
Well, if he doesn't have 40 pounds of equipment on him, he's fucking miserable.
Yeah.
It's true. It's true. If he's not anybody have a mask? If he's not hunched over at a 90-degree angle.
Can you throw some rocks at me?
His fucking elbows commando crawling
Yeah.
with the fucking bag over his shoulder.
This is how I get free drinks at the VFW.
I hope they never fucking invent carts for this sort of thing.
Sand trap, get down!
So, partly, just because his general lifestyle, but also because of how his hockey, how he he was in the net. Here, I'll pull up this picture of him.
Wait a minute, wait. So do we know what snapped in his back, or has he not investigated that?
No, we'll get there in 1 second.
Okay.
But this is how he stood in the net.
Back 90-degree angle.
Yeah.
A lot of stress on your lower lumbar region.
A lot of stress in the lumbar region there.
Yeah. Hard to hold up those eyebrows, too.
Yeah.
Did the net get bigger? The net looks kind of small.
The net did change sizes throughout the years, and was rounded out and
that's
and
good
shit like
for
that.
us to judge people equally.
Yeah. But it didn't like grow that much, but the edge,
Shape.
there was
Sure.
the shape
Okay,
was changed a
fine.
little bit. But so he goes to the doctor, and the discs around his vertebrae had been deteriorating severely. The doctor says he should have had surgery 7 years earlier.
Huh.
They
fuse them all.
They remove one disc. They fuse the vertebrae around that, and the second disc was also damaged. They just took some bits out of it. He's used to that.
Yeah.
Yeah. 7 years bad luck.
And he didn't tell anybody about it.
About his back surgery?
Yeah. He tries to hide it as long as he can.
I'm just tired, guys.
And so he still manages to impregnate his wife again.
She's still fucking him.
Jesus.
Yeah,
Hey, you got one of those things for the refrigerator around?
Well, she tells him the news. He tells her to get rid of it, and she's like, I can't do that. Like, those guys are butchers. Like, she's like,
Pass it.
and when she doesn't get rid of it, he barely talks to her for the rest of the year. And
Good guys.
This is the 66-67 season. And then that year, Toronto, they faced Chicago in the semifinals. He's back. He's playing well again, and he's playing as a better goalie now. So he gets to start in the first game, and he gets beat bad in the first game. Bobby Hull, a great Chicago player and piece of shit in general. Real piece of shit. Just another one of those guys. I was like, that's a hockey profile, but is it more just a piece of shit profile?
Real good guys.
And Bobby Hull kind of knocks him over in the crease during one of the shots, and they're trying to rough everybody up. And at the end of the first game, they lose 5-2, and the Chicago crowd chants "Good night, Terry" at him. But then
That's terrifying.
Good night, Terry Adam. Who's Adam?
but he manages to bounce back. He wins the next 2 games, and game 4, he's just it's his 4th game in a week, and he says, "I'm too tired. I can't do this." Or he loses, and he said he's supposed to play the next game, and he goes, "I can't play the next game. I'm too beat." He says, "Put in Johnny Bauer." And
That guy's
The Great
crazy.
Wall?
yeah,
China Wall?
And
Nobody will know the difference.
Chicago goes like, okay, all we have to do is just fuck up Bauer, and we got Sawchuk. And they were like, he can barely see. We got this guy.
Which guy can't see? The Chinese guy or the...
No, Sawchuk.
The guy that lost an eye.
They say we just got to knock Bauer out of the game, and then we get Sawchuk.
We'll beat up on the China Wall, and we'll get the cripple guy in.
Yeah.
Good strategy.
And so they do beat up on Bauer, and they've just he's not there. He's dropping the puck. After the first period, his coach is like, "Hey, can you do this?" And he's like, "I don't know. I'm pretty messed up." And so the coach is like, "All right, Sawchuk, you're back in."
Fuck.
And then Sawchuk, he goes to basically plays the game of maybe one of the greatest games of his life.
Wow.
Doesn't let a goal in the rest of the game. Shuts out the Blackhawks.
Night.
Beats them so badly that they immediately lose the next game because they're mentally just completely devastated. Here's a little highlight.
He was like a human diaphragm.
He
Nothing got through.
during the game, Sawchuk takes a shot from Bobby Hull that just drops him, hits him in the shoulder. He just goes down. Those pads aren't doing anything for this rubber disc. He goes down, and I'll show you a little video of the shot.
No.
It's really bad
Is
quality.
it going to hurt?
It's gonna hurt him.
Is it going to hurt me? Because when I see skateboarders fall, it hurts my taint.
Cool, man. Maybe it tickles it.
For Hull, who took the pass, cruising in from the left wing. Demkowski bumped into Hull. Hull still has it. Stanley is knocked down by Hayes. Palat to Bobby Hull. There's the shot. Whoa! And Sawchuk was hit.
Oh, it was the shot.
Yeah.
It wasn't.
Oh, it wasn't a punch.
I thought it was like a check or
Sawchuk
something.
took that tremendous blast off the stick of Bobby Hull. Watch Stanley go down there. He was knocked down by Red Hayes. He lopped to Hull. He's got that little opening, and boom.
Oh.
Down goes Sawchuk. What a tremendous
Down
shot
goes
from
Frazier.
short range.
And so as you see in the video there, so I mean Bobby Hull basically the hardest shot in hockey history at that point, and
How did
maybe
you know?
everybody in the game was like just unstoppable.
Probably got a radar.
Oh, he was the hardest.
Yeah.
Meaning he had like. I
What
understand
did you
what you're
think he
saying.
meant?
That particular shot was the hardest shot.
Well,
in
I
hockey.
mean,
but I understand what you're saying.
I mean,
He-
that one he shot from like 15 feet away.
and at his head.
Yeah, basically. But it hits him in the shoulder. He goes down. He's laying on the ice, and Bobby Hull, you can see him in the crease there. He goes, "Hey, you, stay down. I'm gonna keep doing that. Stay down. You better stay down."
What?
Stay down.
Yeah. Wow. And
he did.
and then he
And it hit. It didn't hit him in the face. It hit him in the shoulder.
the shoulder.
And it was that bad.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, his back. is
Because
all-
dude, those pucks go like 100 miles an hour
Yeah. Oh yeah.
plus.
Yeah.
yeah.
But
When it's whole, it's worse.
but when Sawchuk gets up and he continues to stop the Blackhawks, they win the game. Chicago is just mentally not there for the next one, and Leafs upset them, beat them, and they go on to beat Montreal in the finals. And this was the last time the Toronto Maple Leafs ever won the Stanley Cup.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a real. It'd be sad if they weren't so obnoxious about it.
How are they obnoxious about it?
No, I'm just
It's inside.
Just know,
It's inside hockey.
just know how
dude.
fans are.
Inside hockey.
So this is the final peak of Terry's career, and as you can imagine,
All downhill.
the home life is not getting any better.
Oh, God. What's he up to at home anyway?
Well, the problem is when he's there. It's great when he's not up.
Oh, yeah. Well, he starts coming home and adjusting the mirror.
Yeah.
In the refrigerator.
In a typical summer day, he and Louis, his father, Louis, would head down to the VFW. Terry would take a sauna for half an hour and then call for a bucket of beer on ice. Then he would come home, sometimes on time to barbecue, sometimes to raise hell.
Oh my God.
He's probably taking saunas in the fridge. He starts adjusting the TV set in the bathroom. He's probably like, honey, I'm going to take a shower. Climbs into the ice box. Starts pissing all over the place.
It's on the fritz, babe. Told you to fix this.
And it's off balance.
He'd come home half crocked. Not cocked, I don't know why I say crocked. Yelling, banging on the front door, wanting to pick on the kids about something and the other. We would keep the door to the kitchen closed. He'd be in the living room. I'd pray for him to just pass out and leave us alone. All the time, we just lived in the kitchen. And then again, she got pregnant, and
Oh, no.
She got pregnant.
he
fucked her.
he impregnated her,
Yeah, well,
and
maybe.
this time he he drives her to the hospital and just leaves her there again. This time he does show up to pick her up,
Well,
but
good.
as he
This time-
as he gets there to pick her up, he throws down a bill of $26 that he wants to know what the hell that was for. And she said, "Well, I bought flowers for my mother," and so he yells at her for that. And then when they get home, he makes her bring everything in herself.
Wow.
Like child, placenta, all that.
Yeah,
all that shit.
all of that.
Gross.
And then a few days later, the phone rings, and it's a woman. Pat picks up, and the woman says, "Hey, is Terry there?" And Pat says, "No," and the woman starts sobbing uncontrollably, and Pat recognizes the woman's voice from the girl in Toronto that he had met. And she said that she was pregnant with Terry's kid, and she knew that because her husband had a vasectomy.
Yeah. He slipped one past the goalie.
Yep.
So there goes that shutout record.
He then, this time, he's left on waivers again. The NHL has expanded into 12 teams.
Oh my God.
They doubled the size. The LA Kings are created. The LA Kings pick him up.
Woo!
He's...
What year is this?
This would be...
70?
This would be 68.
Okay.
Or the fall of 67.
Damn.
67-68 season.
The Los Angeles Kings.
Yeah. And,
Still around.
Yeah.
Yeah. By the grace of God.
And they gave him more money than he's ever seen it. Like
A couple $5 bills.
You have to buy more drawers.
For the Leafs, the season before, he had been making 17,000 or 18,000, which is about 173,000 today. The Kings offer him 40,000 for their first cut because they're like, well, we can't like. You're not offering that little money. Doesn't even make sense for us.
Right? Yeah.
So they offer him.
We gonna need write-offs, man.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't even have to show up.
And at first he's kind of he doesn't really want to be there. He's a dick to the other players. He's like charging them to like drive him around because they're like young guys. They don't have cars, John.
They live in them.
No, they can't.
And LA, it's a car town.
Yeah.
Come on, you gotta have a car.
First stop, Chinatown.
There's this wall.
And you know, he does, even in LA, he does have moments, you know, so the kids have all these moments where he's terrible, but there are some moments where he's not, and they remember those too. And, you know, like for Christmas that year, the kids, the first time where there wasn't any snow where they're living, so he calls a ice company and has them deliver cover the whole front yard in ice.
That's probably for his own benefit because he's a fucking hockey player from Canada.
Maybe.
It's for his own.
But they said that, you know, they said sometimes he'd do those nice things.
Bad.
But he was also, he was treating them worse, locking them out of the house, yelling at them over various things, hitting them more.
Bad dad. Hey, good thing there was all that ice around. You can fucking put it on your black eye.
Yeah. And the Kings play pretty well. They finished second in the Western Division, the new West Division. They
second out of 2?
Second out of 6.
Yay!
There's 6 in both divisions now.
Pretty good.
Their first round playoff is against the Dallas North Stars, and they go to Game 7.
Wait.
Or it would have been Minnesota. No, it was Dallas something else because it would have been Minnesota.
Dallas had a team?
Dallas had a team. Yeah.
Fucking hell.
I believe it was Dallas. Or the Minnesota North Stars. Whatever. It doesn't. All that matters is they went to 7 games and they lost 9-4 at home in the 7th game, and their own fans pelted them with garbage.
God, I love this garbage shit.
Just can you imagine? Like your team does great, and you're like, oh, you blew this game.
Yeah.
Fuck everything all the joy you brought us.
Yeah.
Now you're gonna be motivated to play for us more, right?
Yeah.
Really,
it's called negative reinforcement.
Meanwhile, the players probably thought it was treasure. You know what I mean?
Oh,
yeah.
Boy, look at all this
trash.
good stuff.
Oh my God! Wow, they get so
a couple of half-used diapers, a couple of fucking refrigerator pads.
Diapers go on the ice. Yeah. Now you know his son Jerry is now in his teens. He started fighting back. Sawchuk is now cheating openly in front of his wife at parties.
In front of? She's a cuck queen.
And
maybe that's her thing.
And he after he hits her one time, probably not the first time, she calls the police, and this time she finally finalizes the divorce.
Good.
He's then traded to the New York Rangers.
Yeah.
Oh, finally.
Yeah.
Team that couldn't say enough good things about him in the beginning.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Here's the thing about his family. Terry saw himself in his oldest son. He compared Jerry's close, warm, hugging relationship with Pat to his own cold youth with his mother, and he was envious to the point of constant anger. When he came home, it was always to a mother, not a wife. He was angry at this love of Pat's being shared with his children. He was angry that he had never experienced and felt such love in his childhood. He was even angry about the past love that his mother lavished on his children before her death.
Yeah.
At the center was this deep-rooted jealousy and anger that was directed at the only logical outlet available to him, his family. Instead of seeing his family as something good he had accomplished with his life, he was instead reminded of what he had lacked.
Yeah, fuck him.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Grow up, dude.
Yeah.
Locked in our own penalty.
So he's traded to the Rangers, and he gets a house on Long Island.
Oh, Lindenhurst.
With some other players. And he's playing with these.
He's got roommates?
Yeah.
Fucking idiot.
And hockey house rules.
Hey.
And near the end of the season, he's drinking with some of his teammates, and you know he was generally friendly with these guys, but sometimes
things got a little weird.
Hockey House reality show would be nice.
Oh God, fucking idiots.
Oh, fucking no teeth.
So he's
No brains.
He's drinking at a pub, and the season's ending, and so they're gonna have to move out of this house. And so one of his teammates, who's he's drinking with, the guy's like, "Hey, we probably should get out of here. We got to clean the house up. To leave it as we got it when we moved in." Sawchuk says, "Fuck that," and the guy says, "No, we should do that." And Sawchuk says, "To hell with it." So they get into a fight. Talk turns to money and unpaid bills, and this is from.
I don't pay bills.
Yeah. And this is the rest is from Dupuis. So this guy Stewart that he was rooming with. Stewart informed his roommate Sawchuk that he paid the phone bill and other sorted bills totaling $184 and change. Terry's blood began to boil. Pulled a roll of money out of his pocket, handed Stewart $190 and told him to shove it. "I ought to cut your fucking head off," Terry shouted, taking a swing at Stewart, but instead hitting a local man, a garbage collector seated nearby. I mean, who else would a garbage collector?
I know. He's driving to the game.
I was just taking this to the He's taking it to the ring.
Yeah, I don't think that was an accident.
Wow. He nearly missed a fishmonger. Had a truck full of octopus.
A scuffle broke out, was broken up by somebody and others in the bar. Stewart, realizing his friend was out of control, bolted out of the bar, but Sawchuk was close behind, and the wrestling match resumed on the sidewalk outside. No punches were landed, and Stewart was able to grab Terry's arms. Imagine one of them was easy to grab. Others pulled Sawchuk off Stewart. Terry was still livid, out of control. Stewart drove them back to the house. Meanwhile, Terry was able to talk down to re-entering the bar to calm down. After finishing another drink, he decided to leave. He's still in an ugly mood. When he gets home, Terry immediately resumed his verbal and physical attack on Stewart. Stewart could not understand what had gotten into the goaltender. A nurse who is a friend of Stewart's heard the commotion. She comes running out. And someone else shows up and tells everybody to get out and grabs Terry by the waist. Attempting to pull him away. In the melee, Stewart backed away and tripped over an overturned metal barbecue pit that had fallen the day before. Stewart fell backwards. Sawchuk, with this guy Wiener wrapped around his waist.
Wiener wrapped around his waist?
Sawchuk fell forward on top of Stewart. In the fall, Terry's stomach landed hard on Ron's extended knee. Stewart's extended knee. Terry cried out in pain and fell down himself, clutching his stomach.
Uh-oh.
He started to go pale. He had low blood pressure. He was in shock.
Who is this?
Terry Sawchuk.
Okay.
They bring him to the hospital. They go to the hospital.
I don't pay
He's
bills.
not getting better. They remove his gallbladder. They take a look at his liver and they go, "Oh, this thing is clotted. This thing is fucked up. It's probably been leaking. We need to patch this up." Oh. He goes into surgery. It seems fine. He comes out of surgery. And the next day, he goes into cardiac arrest and dies.
Wow.
And a year later, he's inducted in the Hockey Hall of Fame.
Wow.
Oh.
The only person to be able to skip the 4-year wait. And he ends his hockey career without having to retire.
Yeah.
Well, he did twice.
Yeah, without having to
Formally.
retire forever.
Yeah, because retirement wasn't good for him.
No.
Death was
death
pretty
is
good.
probably, yeah.
Sometimes you didn't even know you retired.
Yeah.
Show up on the ice.
Yeah.
Start beating
Oh,
people.
where am I?
I'm the garbage. And so there was a very famous picture taken of him by a photographer who you had a makeup artist emphasize all of his scars. You couldn't see you could see his scars, but you couldn't see him like you will see them in the picture.
Interesting. To kind of dress up the legend.
To kind of, be like, hey, hockey's a dangerous game.
This guy's
Look what
crazy.
happens to the goaltenders. And this is that picture.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it looks like Lon Chaney or something.
Yeah, he looks like Frankenstein.
Yeah.
Monster.
Yeah.
But, I mean...
And he was how old here?
He would have been mid-30s.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Looks bad. Looks like Telly Savalas with hair.
yeah,
Who loves
kinda
you,
does.
baby?
Yeah.
Kojak. John is Kojak.
I know who fucking Telly Savalas is.
Okay. Okay.
I was thinking it was somebody else too.
Telly Savalas.
doesn't look like fucking Telly Savalas at all, goddamn
Dude, fucking put your thumb over his hair and be like, look, put a lollipop in his mouth, and that's fucking Telly Savalas.
You can put your thumb somewhere, pal.
I would love to, and then you suck it like a lollipop. Jesus Christ, man.
But that's the story of Terry Sawchuk, arguably
Terry.
the greatest goalie in the history of the NHL, and a real bastard.
Notorious piece of shit.
Yeah.
And to think I didn't do Bobby Hull because he was worse.
Yeah. Well, he skated.
You got to skate past that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty good. You know,
Was it a request?
No, but there has been some hockey players.
There's been
just
some
hockey in general.
I've
has been
seen,
requested.
yeah.
it's got a lot of characters.
Yeah, for sure.
It does, and he's not. He's not the wackiest hockey guy, but it seemed like one to tackle.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a good one. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, real.
6 teams.
Yeah, the original 6.
And it was televised.
After eventually, yeah. But even then, it's like, but you really couldn't see it that well, and
Yeah.
Like playing NHL on Nintendo probably looked better.
Yeah.
yeah.
I used to play one of those games.
Yeah.
It was like Madden for hockey.
Yeah.
It was
Oh, yeah,
a really
yeah.
fun game.
Yeah, big
Oh,
time.
yeah,
It's a really
Nintendo?
fun game.
It was just called NHL something, right?
Yeah, it was like
NHL 94.
Slapshot.
Yeah, it was EA Sports,
Yeah, yeah.
NHL 95, 96, 97, whatever it was. And you could super check people.
I loved the fucking the highlighted puck, which they got rid of when it was on TV.
Well, they got that from video games.
But it was a good fucking idea.
Yeah, you could see the fucking
I
thing.
believe the guy who invented that is the guy who created the first down line in the NFL.
Oh yeah.
That's a guy we should profile because that guy's a fucking Nobel Prize winner.
Yeah. But they got rid of it. People didn't like it, which I was like, well, what are you, a cat?
Well, because once cameras and TVs got better, then you could see.
Yeah, once they went
It's
to like
so fast though, and then it gets behind the boards. So you can't see the scuffle over it and stuff. So when it was highlighted, it was a thing where you're like, oh, no matter what, I know exactly what's going on.
Yeah.
I loved it. You didn't like it.
No, because I didn't have trouble following the puck.
You didn't want
he's a
to.
hockey player.
Just these downing fucking Molsons.
Labats.
You're not watching the fucking game.
You're watching the bottom of a fucking Labatt Blue.
Yeah.
They should have called the Chicago Blackhawks the Labats.
Oh boy,
It's a French thing. You wouldn't get it. Labat. I'm sure there's fucking that era of probably any sport of.
yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
But I'm sure there's a lot more characters. Than
Oh
that.
yeah.
That's really fun.
You're going to talk a little more on the Patreon about it.
Well, about his wife's just incredible story, her childhood,
All right.
and then
well.
escaping this man and raising 7 kids.
7. Good God.
Yeah.
I mean, her kids were in the top 7 of her kids.
Yeah. Original 7.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Pretty great episode, Matt.
Pretty great, man.
Thank you.
I loved it.
Thank you.
Should we call it there?
I think so.
All right. Matt, thank you. And thank you for getting ahead with the videos because we're going to be
welcome.
now, the videos will be coming out at the same time as the podcast, which is really
This is a
wonderful.
big deal for us.
It's a big fucking deal. It's a big fucking deal. I'm going to say goodnight. I love you. My name is John Fahey.
I'm Aaron Pita.
My pursuit.
Good night, everybody. We love you.
Good night.
Starbane's Audio.